On the Schedules tab, we create the schedules for the building equipment in the overall building peak demand savings calculations. There are 9 preloaded schedules that represent common equipment schedules in commercial buildings. The user can edit or delete any of these schedules and create new schedules from this worksheet. All the schedules listed here are referenced in drop-down menus on the Demand tab in the Air Handler and Chiller Equipment tabs, which we'll discuss in later tutorials. The separate references allow users to create separate schedules for different pieces of equipment along with an overall building schedule. If you have any questions about any of the inputs or how they are used, the tool includes comment boxes on some cells, not on this particular worksheet, but in some cases, and an extensive help menu that can also assist you up here in the right corner. And when you click on the help menu, it takes you to the worksheet you're on and discusses the inputs and outputs there. To view one of the 9 schedules, click on the schedule and then click View Edit Schedule. So let's take a look at the normal office building schedule. Zoom in here. Note that the schedules are organized by day schedules, week schedules, and annual schedules. The status column in the day schedule box indicates equipment that is on indicates that equipment is on Monday to Friday, right here, and also on Saturday. And this is a choice of on or off there. The week schedule defines the operating schedule for week categories throughout the year. So here we have 2 week schedules, week 1 and week 2. Each of these sections references the other with the drop-down box. So in the week schedule section, here is the drop-down that's referencing the day schedules that are shown up above. And each of these, Monday through Sunday, has a drop-down. And then the same thing down here in the annual schedules, the reference to the week schedule section is a drop-down in the last column here. So for this particular schedule, we can see that the operation is Monday to Saturday, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. And week 1 and week 2 are referenced in the annual schedules, but those have the same Monday to Friday operation and Saturday operation. Okay, let's go back to the schedules worksheet. We'll just go hide all to hide that particular worksheet. Okay, now let's develop a schedule for our building representing 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. operation Monday to Friday. First, we'll click on the Add Schedule button. So it's asking for us to name it, and I think it would make sense to name it with the actual times. So M through F, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Okay, so it created a worksheet with that name. So for our schedule, let's zoom in here so we can see what's going on. A little bit more. Okay. So our schedule is Monday through Friday on, so let's turn off Saturday and Sunday. And when you click the off button, it turns gray here, indicating that it's not on anymore. And then 6 a.m. So this is a drop down. Scroll down to 6 a.m. We're stopping at 6 p.m. And then you can go through and use the drop down for every day, or you can just, I'm just going to do Control C and copy that and paste it into every day, Monday to Friday. Okay, now let's move on to defining the weekly schedules. You can create up to 5 different schedules, the different weeks here. For each week's schedule, you would use the drop-down list per day to select the appropriate day schedule referenced above. For our case, we have just one weekly schedule throughout the year. So for organizational purposes, I'm going to delete the data here in week 2, and I'm going to rename this cell whole year, and then make sure our references match up with the day schedules above. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday off, and Sunday off. Okay. Now let's move on to the annual schedules section. You can create up to 5 different seasonal schedules also. Here you enter the start-stop dates and select a week schedule from the drop-down list in the last column. And ours changed from week 1 to whole year because I changed the name there. The first schedule row must start with January 1st, and the last schedule row must end with December 31st. In addition, the dates must be in chronological order with no data gaps or overlaps. Let's say our building has the same schedule year-round, so we'll just reference the one weekly schedule to cover the entire year. So I'm going to delete this week 2, so it no longer exists up above. And note here also that the year doesn't really matter. It's only looking at one annual year, so we could leave that as 2002 and it won't make a difference. Okay, let's see what happens when we go back. And we get an error saying the last season schedule does not end with December 31st, or there's no week schedule selected. So it brings us back to this, and we see here that I did not change the date to 12/31. So let's go ahead and do that. There we go. Now let's see what happens. Cool. And then we'll go hide all to hide that schedule. And as you can see, our schedule now exists there.